The composition by T1. Polo going to take the Braum. We did see fantastic Braum performance from Peter earlier on, but this will mean that a lot of the engage onus is going to be on players like Morgan.
Dragon is going. He'll be flashing for a 50-50 though.
It's feeling a little bit like a 4v3, but the Drake does go over to the Bros, and T1 will
look at things here. Less hype rotates over. I mean, Kroko has ult. They're just so slow with this. I feel like they're going to contest. They needed to do it moments ago, and they're just simply going to give this up.
Yep, I think they realized that they weren't actually able to do it. Still had to deal with the minion wave towards the top side of the map, and so the Bros just going to give the grubs, and they'll look to fight elsewhere. Closer in this mid lane, still doing okay. As you can see, he's keeping that health bar in a really good spot up against Faker.
Really impressive from Closer. Just also how much confidence he had. And that allows him to catch the aggression from Owner, but now he's going to get a stun at least.
Yeah. Crocker is just going to push Faker away. Grand Starfall now available for the Pantheon, as now Polo looking for an angle, but it's Owner that comes on through. He gets stunned up though. The Arcane Storm comes down. Magnus Storm's there as well. It's Stormy here in this bottom lane as Faker gets into the back line. Croco goes down first. Polo second to follow. And T1 just wiped 2 off the map. They're just too clean.
That wasn't quite what I had in mind when I mentioned the Pantheon. I wasn't really being that aggressive, wasn't looking for anything, as Closer is the next target and the next victim.
Yeah, this gravity field is doing a lot of work, as we can see. Carrier is going to go down. The teleport from Morgan comes on in there, as now Faker looking to turn it onto hype. Melee range with this Sylas is not where the Misfortune wants to be, as that bullet time, it was time for something else, I think, in that particular moment. Morgan's going to be able to take down Owner, though. The first real advantage. It is going to be feats of strength going over to T1 as well, as this top lane outer turret falls down. Doran kind of getting massive, which is a little bit of a problem. However, the gold is not, it's not in a ridiculous lead for T1.
No!
Now Faker also going to be face checking here. Croco and Polo there, Closer with the damage, and this Sylas is going to try its very best to get out. It's not going to work. And so the Bros pulling closer and closer with T1 once again.
How do you like hide on bush?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's going to be, it looks like potentially a turret in exchange here. Now, they did make this play successfully because Owner was on the other side of the map, but that also means Owner is going to get the Herald for free, so that's going to be a lot of damage potentially put into this mid turret. That's sitting at like 60-ish%.
Yep.
So 1 turret apiece as Closer finishes off that bottom turret. I'm just not going to allow that. You guys push up bottom side, Doran push bottom side. We get Prio for Dragon. We already have Prio mid. I TP top. I deny them that turret in exchange, and we get the Dragon. It's like these moments where you can see T1 are thinking like 3 steps ahead, and Bro just end up with nothing.
Yeah. Bro also, I feel like, had an opportunity to play for that soul, but they just didn't really look interested. As now Doran, speaking of not being interested, he probably would prefer not to die here as the public execution does go down. Polu going to turn up there as well, and yeah, with Winter's Bite stacking up, down he will go. Concussive flows, sorry, is more. And the Rift Herald going to be getting a charge, so it's likely going to cut open this mid lane as Doran looking for some of that needlework. Of course, you need to land it here to get all of that sustain that the Gwen does have. And Kerry is moving up. Morgan just not going to quite find it here as he looks to try and dash away, but the Shattering Strike comes in, and Doran, he's running with scissors. He's real. 2 minutes on the Dragon, so they don't have to deal with both of them just yet. As now Gumiushi could be in trouble. He has to flash to get out of the way of the Winter's Bite there, as well as now Owner might be paying for his sins. Morgan getting amongst it, and the Crescent Guard not quite working, but Croco also down extremely low. Guma takes so long to go down, but Doran, he's not immune. Neither is Carrier, and Faker realizing that he's going to have to cut his losses. This could just be Otacon time for the Bros. See what the answer is here from T1. Ambessa on that top side of the map to teleport in from the Gwen to start this one off. Gravity Well now on cooldown as in comes Morgan. It's a 5v5, it's going to be honest, but that Magnus Storm is so good, and the Bros are going down so low. Croco able to grab Soul Point, but can they actually stay alive in the fight? That's the question. Grand Starfall, and he just exits. All right. And they just call for the disengage.
Yeah, very close to dying anyways, but he is able to channel it and get away. Closer's going to clear this wave. Can he actually get the turret here? That would be massive. He's just got these 2 ranged minions, and I think he has just enough damage to take this one out. He's going to have to do 1 more shot, and he'll get it. And I think he gets away too. Doran is the only one nearby, and he's got his buddy there. Now they're losing Otacon, of course, for this, but I think that went about as well as it could have for Bro after that fantastic Magnet Storm from Keria. This time, he has the ultimate.
100%. 30 seconds now on the Chemtech Soul as well. Shattering Strike comes down. There's the Chain CC. Magnet Storm as they commit onto Hype, who has to flash very early in this fight. Ona dashing forward, but there's Polu with the save. Crescent Guard does come on down as now the rest of the cavalry will turn up. Ona, the first one to fall, is Hype using that Bloodthirster to get his health bar back. It's a good Deadly Flourish to try and save Keria, but the Grand Starfall gets Croco in, and down he goes. I'm not entirely sure about that particular play as now T1 feeling like this is their opportunity, but Morgan gets into that backline as Gumayusi's in so much trouble. Still, so much burst damage onto him. And the Bros, they managed to take down Ona, but Croco, just in light of fairness, is going to throw his life away as well.
He said jungle for jungle.
Yeah, that's the trade.
And they are going to be able to turn. It's still a one-team fight, even though it's a one-for-one. Like, they won the subsequent fight, so T1, lower health bar, is not able to contest. I mean, they're trying to come over here. A big flank from Doran.
Yeah, and Faker actually had the Grand Starfall. The Bros trying to get back into position, and they may have bitten off more than they could chew. Closer trying to do what he can here with his AoE damage, but down goes Hype. Gumayusi stands his ground, and even though the gravity field is good, it's not good enough. It's a triple here for the Gwen as Keria with some supportal combat against Polu. He gets the Gromp involved, and Gumayusi's delivered a kill. That is soul denial, and it's a bit soul-crushing as well for the Bro Leavers.
It certainly is. T1 taking a significant gold lead off of this. Faker's already got his eyes on, is nowhere near, and ends up just exploding. But they end up winning the subsequent fight. Now they're on Baron.
Oh god, oh god, oh god. Okay, well Croco is just going to get executed, and the Baron will go over to T1. Baron plays in T1. They're pretty good at it, and that is going to
win. The later part of it, the second version of it, you could say, is what gets them the Baron. They deny Croco entry, no 50-50, no Smite Steal, a dead jungler. And like you said, T1 are going to turn this into an 8K plus gold lead, very likely.
Yeah, that's the danger. So far, haven't really picked up too much. Is now Hype able to sidestep very nicely. But Croco is fighting with Doran, and Doran is just fighting with the turret. And he's going to win that battle. Is Croco going to have to flash over the wall? Hype with these auto attacks is pretty scary, and Faker having to go golden, but he's still going to die. And the Arcane Storm, we were talking about the fact that T1 pretty good at ballooning it. I think with that last play, doesn't quite work out, as Croco is possibly once again dead. Keria able to use the Magnet Storm and get out, but Croco will survive for the moment. Bullets flying on in here as Ona on a ward right now, and Gumayusi will find the last shot, take down the Pantheon.
Closer hates Croco confirmed.
Yeah.
What was that?
That's so unfair.
No, it just wasn't even necessary.
You just stand in front of him, man. As Dagon also a little bit upset about it, but that interruption from Polu, the president, might be making things happen, and the Lord decrees that it is time to get into the backline and win this game. The Gwen gonna go down, and Morgan is still up, pushing Faker away, but Faker does manage to take down Closer. It's a lot of the DPS now missing. Ona now as well. Wind becomes lightning, but he's getting hunted down.
Will Morgan find him? I think the answer is yes.
Yep, Guma trying to escape, but the captive audience, Deadly Flourish, and he just does a lot. So, yeah.
He's reloaded, and he has enough DPS to shoot 4 times at an Amessa who's rooted, and he does. This Baron is just gone.
Yeah, we don't have any scrying ability, and it's just going to get taken down. So the Bros, they're going to choose a different time to fight. Is what I expect.
I just don't think they could have fought there unless Croco just ults in and they just
yeah,
go
but then
for
Croco is definitely just dead.
Yeah. And I mean, they denied him last time, so he's probably got bad memories and he doesn't want to do it. But I don't think there was much of an option there for Bro. But sit back and give Baron and let T1 win the game is not really the option I was looking for. Is Croco?
Yeah, he's going to have to flash, but he's probably dead. Yeah, and by probably, I mean definitely.
If you're going to be there, you might as well just ult the Baron pit.
Very true.
I'm being mean, but I don't know. That's going to cost them big, because now that's no flank angle, real way to shut down this Baron at all. I mean, not for 40 more seconds while he's in the death chamber.
Well, now Morgan has found Faker and Keria trying to get something done here in this mid lane. Morgan does do a fair bit of work. As you can see, the rest of the Bros are going to turn up. So this tower will survive. So you can see T1, they are pulling them around. Doran still pushing towards that top side, and Faker just immediately teleports back. Like you say, they are so good at making sure that you have to be aware of everything.
The 1-3-1 power, when you have this much control over the map, I mean, it kind of plays itself. You just go to the lanes and let the minions do the work and start sieging up from forever away.
Yep, and there it is. Tower goes down. Ona goes in immediately as the Arcane Storm is down. Closer goes golden, and now Hype in the back line. has his GA pop very, very early in this one. Doran's running with scissors all over the place. And that is just so much, too much for the bros to deal with. Crocker goes down. Doran's underneath 2 Nexus turrets and just goes golden and says, this is totally fine. They'll take these ones down, and T1 move to 1-0 in their match against the bros, looking to get revenge for round 1.
There were certainly some